Tonight we embark on a journey not across vast oceans or to bustling cities, but inward, to a place of profound calm. Imagine, if you will, a winding mountain path, dappled with the soft light of a setting sun. Ancient trees stand as silent sentinels, their leaves whispering secrets to the gentle breeze. In the distance, you can almost hear the faint, clear song of wind chimes, carried from a hidden temple nestled amongst the peaks. What if the deepest wisdom we seek, the most serene peace, is not found in a distant, arduous quest, but in the quiet reflection of our own being, as clear and undisturbed as a mountain lake? Before we begin, feel free to like and subscribe, but only if your heart resonates. We love to imagine where these stories find you, so if you feel called, share in the comments where you're listening from tonight. Now, breathe in, exhale slowly, and let's begin our quiet journey together. The path unfolds before you, not as a clearly marked trail, but as an invitation whispered by the landscape itself. It meanders upwards, a gentle incline that asks for nothing more than your steady presence, your unhurried breath. You step forward, and the sounds of the world you've left behind begin to recede, replaced by a symphony of stillness. The rustle of unseen creatures in the undergrowth, the soft sigh of the wind through pine needles, the distant call of a bird echoing through the canopy. You are seeking something, a place spoken of in hushed tones by those who have walked these ancient ways before you. A legendary mountain lake, said to be a mirror for the mind. A place where the water is so clear, so perfectly still, that it reflects not only the boundless sky above, but also the deepest truths hidden within the heart of the observer. This is your quiet aspiration, the gentle pull that guides your feet along this secluded way. The air grows cooler as you ascend, carrying the clean scent of damp earth, moss, and the faintest hint of wildflowers hidden from view. Sunlight filters through the dense leaves overhead, creating shifting patterns of light and shadow on the path, like transient thoughts dancing across a tranquil mind. You notice the texture of the ground beneath your feet, sometimes soft with fallen leaves, sometimes firm with exposed rock, sometimes yielding with rich soil. Each step is a connection, a grounding in the present moment. There's a teaching, subtle as the breeze, that whispers how this very journey, this path of seeking, is itself the practice. Each mindful breath, each sensation noted, each moment of awareness. These are not mere preparations for arrival, but arrival itself, again and again. The mountain lake, in this light, is not simply a destination to be reached after much effort, but a quality of being that you cultivate with every conscious step, with every gentle observation. You walk onward, feeling the rhythm of your own movement, the steady beat of your heart a quiet drum accompanying your pilgrimage. There are no signposts here, no maps to consult. The only guide is an inner sense, a quiet knowing that draws you forward. Sometimes the path seems to disappear, overgrown or faint, and in those moments, a soft paradox emerges. The more you anxiously search for the way, the more it seems to elude you. Yet, when you relax, when you trust the unfolding, the next step invariably reveals itself, as if the path itself is responding to your inner state. It is this gentle intent, free from grasping, that keeps you moving, not towards a fixed point, but deeper into the experience of now. The forest deepens. The trees are older here, their massive trunks gnarled and wise, draped in emerald moss that seems to absorb sound, creating pockets of profound silence. You pause, leaning against one such ancient being, feeling its steadfast presence. You close your eyes for a moment, and the inner landscape becomes more vivid. The idea of the lake shimmers in your mind's eye, a vast expanse of stillness, a perfect reflection of truth. This image is not a distraction, but a compass, orienting your heart towards clarity and peace. You continue, and the path begins to narrow, winding between large, weathered stones that seem to have rested here for centuries, silent witnesses to countless seasons. You touch one, its surface cool and smooth, worn by wind and rain. There's a wisdom in its patient stillness, a story of endurance and acceptance. It has seen storms and sun, growth and decay, yet it remains, simply being. This encounter, too, feels like a teaching, a reminder of the quiet strength found in abiding presence. The sun dips lower, and the quality of light transforms, becoming softer, more golden. Long shadows stretch across the path, and the air takes on a luminous quality. You are not rushing. There is no urgency. The journey itself is a meditation, a slowing down, and attuning to the subtle energies of the mountain and of your own inner world. The legend of the lake speaks of its power to calm the most turbulent thoughts, to smooth the inner ripples of disquiet. And as you walk, you notice a gradual settling within you, a letting go of preoccupations, a gentle unfurling into the peace of this secluded place. The lake is still ahead, a promise, but its essence, its stillness, is already beginning to permeate your being, carried on the breath of the mountain air, whispered by the ancient trees. The seeking continues, not as a striving, but as a gentle unfolding, a trusting movement towards the heart of serenity. The path takes a final, gentle turn, and through a clearing in the ancient trees, it appears. Your first glimpse of the mountain lake. It is not a dramatic revelation, but a soft unfolding, as if the landscape itself exhales and reveals its hidden jewel. The water lies before you, a vast expanse of liquid light, cradled by the surrounding peaks that rise like protective guardians, their slopes cloaked in deep green forests. The air here is different, carrying a unique coolness, a palpable stillness that emanates from the water's surface. You pause at the edge of the tree line, your breath catching not in surprise but in quiet reverence. The lake is more serene, more profoundly peaceful than any image your mind had conjured. It is an invitation, a silent welcome. You approach the water's edge with a beginner's heart, shedding any preconceived notions, any expectations of what you might find. This isn't about achieving a goal, but about being present to what is. The Zen masters speak of Shoshin, the beginner's mind, a mind open, eager, and free of the habits of the expert. And in this moment, facing this pristine water, you feel that quality awaken within you. The shoreline is not a manicured edge, but a natural transition of moss-covered stones, smooth pebbles, and fine, dark sand. You find a flat rock, warmed by the last rays of the afternoon sun, and you sit. There is no need to do anything, to analyze, to understand. The only call is to be, to witness. The surface of the lake is almost impossibly smooth, like a polished obsidian mirror, reflecting the vast, pale blue sky above with such clarity that it's difficult to tell where the water ends and the heavens begin. A few wispy clouds drift lazily across the sky, and their perfect counterparts glide across the water, undisturbed. This initial encounter is a lesson in itself. The lake doesn't strive to be reflective. It simply is reflective by its very nature of being still and clear. It's a gentle paradox. In its complete passivity, its utter receptivity, lies its profound power to mirror everything. You watch, and your mind, which just moments ago was filled with the subtle efforts of the journey, begins to quieten, to settle, mirroring the stillness before you. The simple act of seeing, truly seeing without judgment or agenda, becomes a meditative practice. You notice the subtle details, the way the light plays on the water, creating shimmers and glints that dance and disappear. The faintest of breezes, almost imperceptible on your skin. touches the far edge of the lake, creating a momentary shiver on its surface, a fleeting texture that dissolves as quickly as it appears. These are not imperfections, but part of its living beauty, a reminder of the constant gentle flux of existence. The teaching of impermanence, anicca, is not a sorrowful one here, but a truth observed in the graceful dance of light and shadow, of stillness and subtle movement. You recall a Zen story of a master who, when asked about the nature of enlightenment, simply pointed to a reflection of the moon in a puddle. The truth, the story suggests, is not in some distant, unattainable realm, but right here, in the clear seeing of what is. This lake, in its pristine clarity, feels like such a pointing. It doesn't offer complex doctrines or elaborate philosophies, but a direct experience of peace, of unburdened presence. Your gaze softens, and your awareness expands to include the sounds around the lake. The distant cry of a hawk circling high above, the gentle lapping of water against the stones at your feet. So soft it's almost the sound of silence itself. The rustle of leaves in the forest that encircles this hidden sanctuary. These sounds don't disturb the stillness. They are woven into it, becoming part of its fabric, like notes in a silent melody. You realize that your journey to find the lake was also a journey to find this quality of attention within yourself. The path, with its gentle challenges and moments of quiet contemplation, prepared you for this encounter, allowing you to arrive not as a conqueror, but as a humble guest. The lake asks nothing of you, demands nothing. It simply offers its presence, its profound, reflective calm. And in return, you offer your own quiet attention, your willingness to be still and see. This first meeting is not about seeking profound insights or epiphanies. It is simply about allowing the natural state of the lake to permeate your being. It's about letting go of the mind's habitual need to categorize, to name, to analyze. Here, at the water's edge, with the vast sky reflected perfectly below, the invitation is to rest in a state of pure observation, of fresh-eyed wonder. The lake, in its unassuming majesty, teaches you that the most profound experiences are often the simplest, available to anyone with a heart open enough to receive them. The journey has led you here, to this shore, and the only task now is to be present, to breathe with the stillness, and to let the clear water reflect not just the sky, but the quiet peace that is beginning to dawn within you. You sit by the water's edge, your breath deepening, aligning with the lake's immense calm. The surface before you is a perfect mirror, not just of the sky, but of a concept central to Zen, Mushin, or no mind. It is a mind empty of distracting thoughts, of preconceived notions, of the incessant chatter that so often fills our inner landscape. This emptiness is not a void, a nothingness in the desolate sense, but a spaciousness, a profound receptivity. Like the lake, which holds the entirety of the sky within its reflective embrace without grasping or clinging to any part of it, the mind of no mind is open, vast, and capable of reflecting reality as it truly is. The sky above is an endless canvas of pale azure, and its reflection in the water is just as boundless. There are no permanent features in this reflected skyscape, only the slow, majestic drift of clouds. One cloud, shaped like a soft brushstroke, glides into view in the water, a perfect white against the reflected blue. It lingers for a time, its form held in perfect fidelity, and then, just as gracefully, it drifts out of the frame of your immediate perception on the water's surface. The lake does not try to hold on to the cloud's image, nor does it mourn its passing. It simply reflects what is present, moment by moment. This is the essence of no mind. It is not an absence of thought, for thoughts may still arise, like those clouds. But they pass through the vastness of the mind without disturbing its fundamental stillness. without leaving a lasting trace. You watch a thought arise in your own awareness, perhaps a memory of the journey here, or a gentle wonder about the path ahead. You observe it, as you observe the cloud in the water, and then you let it drift by, returning your attention to the serene expanse before you. There is a profound liberation in this practice, a gentle unburdening. The lake's surface, in its perfect stillness, teaches a subtle paradox. In its complete emptiness, it contains everything. It holds the immensity of the sky, the distant mountains, the trees at its edge, and even your own reflection, should you lean closer. This is akin to the Zen understanding of emptiness, sunyata. It's not that things don't exist, but that they are empty of a fixed, independent self-nature. They are all interconnected, arising and passing away in a constant flow, like the reflections on the water. You gaze into the depths. The clarity of the water allows you to see far down, yet what you see is not a solid bottom, but layers of deepening blue, eventually fading into a mysterious, serene darkness. This, too, is like the mind. On the surface, reflections dance. But beneath, there are depths of stillness, layers of consciousness that are usually obscured by the turbulence of daily thought. The practice of meditation, like gazing into this lake, allows the surface agitations to settle, revealing the profound quietude that lies beneath. A single leaf, golden and crisp from an early autumn touch, detaches from a nearby branch and spirals gently down, landing softly on the water. It rests there, a tiny, vibrant speck on the vast, smooth canvas. For a moment, it is the center of this watery universe. Then, the faintest current, almost invisible, begins to carry it slowly, almost imperceptibly, across the surface. It doesn't resist. It simply moves with the water's silent intention. This leaf, too, is a teacher of no mind, of effortless action, of wu-wei, doing by not doing, flowing with the natural course of things. You realize that the mind, when it becomes like this lake, doesn't lose its capacity for engagement or perception. Instead, it becomes more acutely aware, more present to the subtle nuances of reality. It reflects the world with greater clarity because it is not clouded by its own biases, judgments, or internal storms. The beauty of a flower, the sorrow in a friend's eyes, the intricate pattern of a spider's web, all are perceived more directly, more intimately, when the mind is a clear mirror. The stillness of the lake is not a dead stillness. It is alive, vibrant, pulsating with a quiet energy. You can feel it, a subtle thrumming that resonates with a place deep within you. This is the peace that arises when the internal dialogue ceases, when the need to control or define or categorize falls away. It is the peace of pure being, of simply existing in harmony with the present moment. The lake, in its profound reflective silence, embodies this state effortlessly. It doesn't try to be peaceful. Its peace is an inherent quality of its undisturbed nature. You take a slow, deep breath, inhaling the cool, clean air, and as you exhale, you imagine any remaining inner turbulence gently dissolving, like ripples smoothing out on the water's surface. The invitation here is to become like the lake, to cultivate that inner space, that capacity for clear reflection, that profound stillness that is always present, just beneath the surface of our habitual thinking. The sky remains vast and open above, and its perfect counterpart remains steady and serene in the water below. The mirror of no mind, empty yet full, reflecting all yet clinging to nothing. This is the silent sermon of the mountain lake, a lesson whispered without words, understood in the heart. As you continue to observe the lake's serene expanse, a gentle breeze begins to stir, almost imperceptibly at first, like a soft sigh from the surrounding forest. It whispers across the water, and the perfectly smooth mirror begins to transform. Tiny ripples, like liquid diamonds, skitter across the surface, breaking the sky's flawless reflection into 1,000 dancing fragments of light and color. The image of the distant mountains, once so steady, now shimmers and quivers, their peaks momentarily dissolving and reforming. This is the lake's teaching on impermanence, on the fleeting beauty of each moment. The stillness, so profound just moments ago, has given way to this gentle motion. Yet, the lake itself remains. Its essence, its depth, its capacity to hold water, is unchanged. Only its surface expression has shifted. This is a profound insight. Circumstances change, emotions ebb and flow, thoughts arise and pass like these ripples, but the core of your being, that deep, quiet awareness, can remain as constant and undisturbed as the lake's basin. You watch the play of wind on water, fascinated. The ripples are not chaotic. They have a pattern, a rhythm. They catch the light in ever-changing ways, creating a dazzling momentary spectacle. There is a beauty in this transience, a vibrancy that the perfect stillness, for all its peace, did not possess in quite the same way. The Zen masters often speak of finding beauty, not just in perfection and permanence, but in the imperfect, the transient, the wabi-sabi of existence. This gentle disturbance on the lake's surface is a perfect illustration. The breeze carries with it the scent of pine and damp earth, and the faint sweet fragrance of unseen mountain flowers. It touches your face, a cool caress, a reminder of the constant unseen forces that shape our world. You realize that this wind, like the events in your own life, is not an enemy of the lake's peace, but an integral part of its being. Without the wind, there would be no ripples, no dance of light, no reminder of the dynamic nature of reality. The paradox here is that the very thing that disturbs the perfect reflection also reveals another dimension of its beauty. If the lake were always perfectly still, it would be a static image. The ripples, born of the wind, introduce change, movement, and a reminder that life is a flow, not a fixed state. The challenge, then, is not to resist the winds of change in our own lives, but to learn to flow with them, to maintain our inner depth even as our surface experiences shift and shimmer. You think of a Zen koan, a paradoxical riddle designed to awaken insight. What is the sound of one hand clapping? It's a question that defies logical answer, inviting the mind to leap beyond its usual patterns. The ripples on the lake feel like a visual koan. They are there, and then they are gone. They change the reflection, yet the sky remains unchanged. They are born of the wind, which is invisible, yet their effect is clearly seen. They speak of the interplay between the seen and the unseen, the constant and the ever-changing. As the breeze subsides, the ripples gradually begin to soften. The fragmented reflections start to coalesce. The dance of light becomes less frenetic, more gentle. Slowly, patiently, the surface returns to its mirror-like stillness. The distant mountains reform their steady image. The sky regains its unbroken vastness in the water. The lake does not cling to the excitement of the ripples, nor does it rush to regain its stillness. It simply responds, moment by moment, to the conditions as they are. This, too, is a profound teaching. The ability to experience disturbance, whether it's an external event or an internal emotion, and then to naturally, gracefully return to a state of inner calm. It's not about suppressing the ripples or denying their existence, but about cultivating an inner spaciousness that allows them to arise, to play out their energy, and then to naturally dissipate, leaving the underlying peace undisturbed. You notice how the light has shifted. The sun, moving lower towards the horizon, now casts longer shadows from the trees at the water's edge. The quality of light on the water is different, warmer, more golden where the ripples had danced. Each moment is unique, unrepeatable. The lake, in its constant dialogue with the wind and light, embodies this truth perfectly. It never reflects the same sky twice, never experiences the same ripple in exactly the same way. The experience of the wind and ripples leaves you with a sense of gentle acceptance. Life will bring its breezes, its moments of disturbance. Thoughts and emotions will create ripples on the surface of your mind. But beneath it all, the capacity for stillness, for clear reflection, remains. The beauty is not just in the calm, but in the resilience. The ability to embrace the dance of change and then to settle back into the profound peace that is your true nature. Just like the mountain lake returning to its serene, reflective calm after the wind's fleeting visit. The fleeting beauty of the ripples serves only to highlight the enduring depth of the lake's tranquility. Your gaze, initially captivated by the surface play of light and reflection, now drifts downwards, drawn to the secrets held within the lake's clear depths. The water is so transparent that you can see far below, not to a muddy or obscured bottom, but to a world of ancient stones, submerged logs, and the gentle sway of aquatic plants. These are the echoes of interconnection, the visible history of the lake's quiet existence, resting in the serene stillness. Smooth, rounded stones of varying sizes and colors litter the lakebed near the shore. Some are pale gray, others are tinged with ochre or a deep, mossy green. They lie in a natural arrangement, not placed by any hand but settled over eons by the water's patient caress. Each stone, you realize, has a story. It was once part of the larger mountain, broken free by frost or storm, tumbled down slopes, and gradually worn smooth by the relentless, gentle action of water and time. Now, it rests here, a silent testament to the slow, transformative power of nature. This is a lesson in patience, in the acceptance of processes that unfold over vast stretches of time, far beyond our human lifespan. Further out, where the water deepens, you can discern the forms of larger rocks, their shape softened by distance and the light filtering through the water. They appear as gentle giants, slumbering in the deep. Amongst them, you see a fallen tree, its branches bare and smooth, encrusted with a fine layer of silt and tiny organisms. It's no longer a living tree reaching for the sky, but it has found a new purpose, a new existence, as part of this underwater ecosystem. It provides shelter for unseen creatures, a resting place, a point of stability in the quiet depths. This is the Zen teaching of Mujo, impermanence, seen not as loss, but as transformation, as the continual unfolding of existence into new forms. The concept of interconnectedness, pratityasamutpada, becomes palpable as you observe this underwater world. The stones support the silt nourishes the plants provide oxygen and shelter for tiny fish or aquatic insects that you might only glimpse as fleeting shadows. The fallen log is connected to the forest from which it came, and now it is connected to the life within the lake. Everything is linked, interdependent. The health and clarity of the lake depend on the health of the surrounding forest, the purity of the streams that feed it, the balance of life within its waters. Nothing exists in isolation. You reflect on how this mirrors your own existence. You are not an isolated being, but a nexus of countless connections to other people, to the natural world, to the past, and to the future. Your thoughts, your actions, your very breath ripple outwards, affecting the web of life in ways you may never fully comprehend. The clear water of the lake, allowing you to see these deep connections, invites you to recognize the similar, often invisible connections in your own life. There's a subtle paradox in gazing into these depths. The water is empty, in the sense that it is clear, allowing light to pass through, allowing vision to penetrate. Yet this very emptiness is what reveals the fullness, the richness of what lies beneath. If the water were murky, filled with sediment, these ancient stones and submerged forms would be hidden. It is the clarity, the emptiness of the water, that allows the depth in its contents to be seen. Similarly, it is often when the mind is quietest, clearest, emptiest of its own chatter, that the deepest insights and understandings can emerge. A shaft of sunlight, angling through the trees, penetrates the water's surface and illuminates a patch of the lake bed, making the stones there momentarily glow. It's a fleeting highlight, a spotlight on a small part of the vast underwater landscape. It reminds you that what you see is only a fraction of what is there. The lake holds many secrets in its depths, mysteries that are not meant to be fully grasped or unraveled, but simply to be acknowledged with a sense of wonder and respect. You notice the way the light bends and refracts as it enters the water, creating subtle distortions, making objects appear slightly displaced or magnified. This is a gentle reminder of how our own perceptions can sometimes be, not untrue, but filtered, shaped by the medium of our minds, our experiences, our conditioning. The lake, in its clarity, still presents this subtle play of perception, inviting a humble awareness of the limits of our own knowing. The ancient stones on the lake bed seem to possess a profound stillness, a deep, unwavering presence. They have been here for so long, witnessing the changing seasons, the shifting light, the comings and goings of life around and above them. They embody a kind of deep time, a geological patience that puts human anxieties and urgencies into a broader perspective. Resting your gaze upon them, you feel a sense of grounding, a connection to something ancient, enduring, and deeply peaceful. The secrets of the deep are not dramatic revelations, but quiet affirmations of interconnectedness, transformation, and the enduring beauty that lies beneath the surface of things, waiting to be seen with clear eyes and a still heart. Leaning just a little closer to the water's edge, careful not to disturb the pebbles that form its delicate boundary, you see your own reflection looking back at you. It is not a sharp, photographic image, but a softer, more fluid version of yourself, cradled in the gentle embrace of the lake. The sky, the distant trees, the subtle play of light, all frame this image, reminding you that you are not separate from this tranquil scene, but an intrinsic part of it. This encounter with your reflected self, here in the heart of nature's stillness, becomes a gateway to exploring your inner nature, your true self. The reflection is, in a way, a paradox. It is you, and yet it is not you. It is an image, transient and dependent on the light in the water, yet it provokes a deep sense of recognition. Zen teachings often explore the nature of self, questioning the fixed, solid identity we often construct. Is the self the thoughts that race through the mind, the emotions that ebb and flow, the physical body that is constantly changing? Or is there something more profound, something akin to the lake itself, a vast, reflective awareness that witnesses all these phenomena without being defined by them? Your reflection shows your face, softened by the water's gentle undulations if a slight breeze still touches the surface. The expression it holds is one of quiet contemplation, perhaps a touch of wonder. It is a face free from the usual masks worn in daily life, a face simply present in this moment of serene observation. You see the light in your reflected eyes, and for a moment, it feels as though the lake is looking back at you, seeing into you, reflecting not just your physical form but something of your inner essence, or inner. This act of seeing oneself mirrored in nature is an ancient human experience. There is a primal connection in it, a reminder of our deep belonging to the earth. The lake doesn't judge your reflection. It doesn't critique or analyze. It simply holds the image, faithfully and without bias. This non-judgmental reflection can be a powerful teacher. It invites you to look at yourself with the same gentle acceptance, the same compassionate awareness that the lake offers. You might notice small details in your reflection, the way your hair is touched by the breeze, the subtle lines of experience on your face. These are not flaws or imperfections, but simply aspects of your present reality, as transient and as much a part of the whole as the ripples on the water or the clouds in the sky. The teaching of anatta, or no self, suggests that the self is not a fixed entity, but a constantly changing process. Your reflection, ever shifting with the light and water, beautifully illustrates this. The you of this moment is subtly different from the you of a moment ago, and will be different again in a moment to come. The boundary between your reflected self and the reflected sky seems to blur at times. Your image is not superimposed on the lake, but rather integrated into its reflective canvas. This can evoke a feeling of non-duality, the understanding that the apparent separation between self and other, between observer and observed, is an illusion. In this moment, reflected in the lake, you are one with the water, the sky, the mountains. There is a profound peace in this sense of unity, a letting go of the burden of a separate, isolated self. Consider the idea that your true self is not the image on the surface, but the awareness that perceives that image. Just as the lake's true nature is not the reflections it holds, but its inherent capacity to reflect, your true nature is the boundless consciousness that witnesses all experience. This consciousness is inherently clear, peaceful, and undisturbed, like the deepest, stillest parts of the lake. The thoughts, emotions, and sensations that ripple across its surface are like the reflections, transient phenomena that do not alter its fundamental nature. The lake offers no answers, only a space for quiet inquiry. Who is it that sees this reflection? Who is it that feels this peace? The questions themselves, when held gently in the mind, can lead to a deeper understanding than any readily available answer. The reflection acts as a koan, a living riddle. It is there, yet it is not solid. It is you, yet it is made of water and light. Meditating on this can loosen the grip of rigid self-concepts and open you to a more fluid, spacious sense of being. You stay with your reflection for a while longer, not in a narcissistic way, but in a spirit of gentle self-inquiry. It is an opportunity to meet yourself without agenda, without the need to perform or impress. The lake asks nothing of you but your presence. And in that presence, looking at your own image held so tenderly by the water, you may glimpse something of the inherent goodness, the innate peace that resides within you, often hidden beneath the surface disturbances of daily life. The reflection is not the destination of this inquiry, but a doorway, an invitation to turn your gaze inward, to discover the clear, undisturbed lake within your own heart. As your attention gently disengages from your own reflection, it expands to embrace the symphony of subtle sounds that envelop the lake. This is not the intrusive noise of a busy world, but the natural, harmonious chorus of the wilderness, a silence that speaks volumes. The mountain air, so clean and still, carries these sounds with remarkable clarity, allowing each tiny whisper of nature to become a point of meditative focus. The most prominent sound, yet also the most soothing, is the almost imperceptible lapping of water against the shoreline. It's a soft, rhythmic shooshing, like the gentle breath of the lake itself. Sometimes a slightly larger wavelet will create a delicate plink as it meets a particular stone, a tiny, clear note in the vast silence. You find your own breath beginning to attune to this natural rhythm, slowing down, deepening, becoming as calm and regular as the water's gentle pulse. This is the sound of presence, the sound of the earth breathing. From the dense forest that rings the lake, a chorus of other subtle sounds emerges. The rustle of leaves high in the canopy, a dry, papery whisper as the breeze, now almost completely faded, still nudges them. Occasionally, a single leaf detaches and spirals down, its journey through the air almost silent until its soft landing on the forest floor or the water's surface. Each such sound is a tiny event, unique and unrepeatable, a reminder of the constant, quiet activity of the natural world. You hear the distant fluting call of an unseen bird, perhaps a thrush or a warbler, its song echoing briefly across the water before being absorbed back into the stillness. It's not a demand for attention, but a simple expression of its being, a melodic offering to the vastness. Then, silence returns, deeper and more profound for the momentary presence of the song. This interplay of sound and silence is a core Zen understanding. Silence is not merely the absence of sound, but the ground from which all sounds arise and to which they return. It is the canvas upon which the world paints its auditory landscapes. There's a paradoxical teaching here. The more you listen to the silence, the more you begin to hear. Not just the obvious sounds, but the incredibly subtle ones. The hum of an insect's wings somewhere nearby, the creak of a branch settling in a distant tree, perhaps even the faint inner sound, the nada, that some meditators report hearing in deep stillness. The lake's environment becomes a rich tapestry of delicate acoustics, each thread contributing to the overall sense of profound peace. This deep listening is a form of meditation in itself. It requires a letting go of the mind's tendency to label, to analyze, to categorize sounds as pleasant or unpleasant. Instead, you simply receive them, allowing them to pass through your awareness like clouds through the sky. There is no effort involved, no striving. It is a practice of pure receptivity. When the mind is truly quiet, even the smallest sound can become a gateway to a deeper appreciation of the present moment. You might consider the Zen concept of hearing with the whole body. It's not just your ears that are listening, but your entire being. You feel the subtle vibrations in the air, the resonance of the earth beneath you. The sounds become a part of you, and you become a part of the soundscape. The boundaries between self and environment soften even further. The silence that envelops the lake is not an empty silence. It is pregnant with potential, filled with the unheard stories of the stones, the trees, the water itself. It's a living silence, vibrant and full. This is akin to the eloquent silence of a Zen master, who might communicate profound truths not through words, but through a gesture, a look, or simply by sharing a moment of profound, wordless presence. The lake, in its stillness, is such a master, teaching through its silent being. Occasionally, a fish might jump, a brief splash, and then concentric ripples spreading outwards, the sound quickly absorbed by the prevailing quiet. Or a pine cone might drop from a high branch, thudding softly onto the mossy ground. These are not disturbances to the peace, but affirmations of it, momentary accents that highlight the depth of the surrounding tranquility. They are like punctuation marks in a long, serene sentence. As you sit, immersed in these subtle sounds and the overarching silence, you may find that your internal chatter, the usual stream of thoughts, begins to subside naturally. There is nothing for it to cling to, nothing to react against. The external quietude invites an internal quietude. The mind, like the lake's surface after the breeze has passed, settles into a state of calm clarity. This silence isn't forced. It arises organically from the deep listening, from the simple act of being present with the natural world. It is a silence that is not empty, but full of peace, full of presence. A silence that truly speaks, revealing the profound stillness at the heart of all things. A new light begins to touch the world around the mountain lake. It is the gentle, almost imperceptible arrival of dawn. The deep blues and indigos of the pre-dawn sky are slowly giving way to softer hues, lavender, rose, and a pale, ethereal gold that first kisses the highest mountain peaks surrounding the water. This emerging light is not a sudden blaze, but a gradual awakening, a soft unfurling of the day, mirroring the possibility of inner awakening. The surface of the lake, which had been a dark, mysterious mirror reflecting the stars in the fading night, now begins to catch these nascent colors. It shimmers with a pearlescent glow, the water itself seeming to awaken from a deep slumber. The transition is subtle, almost magical, a daily miracle that often goes unnoticed in the rush of ordinary life. Here, in this profound stillness, you witness it in its full, unhurried glory. This first light, touching the world with such tenderness, carries a profound teaching. It is the promise of renewal, of new beginnings. Just as the sun rises each day, banishing the darkness, so too can our own inner light arise, dispelling the shadows of confusion or gentle longing. This awakening is not something to be forced or manufactured, but something that happens naturally when conditions are right, when the mind is settled and receptive, like the calm surface of the lake ready to receive the dawn. You watch as the golden touch of the sun creeps slowly down the mountain slopes, illuminating the textures of the rock faces, the deep green of the pine forests, highlighting details that were previously hidden in shadow. Each tree, each stone, seems to greet the light to absorb its warmth and energy, and there is a sense of quiet celebration in the air, a silent reverence for this daily return of light and life. The paradox of this moment is that the light reveals the world, yet it also reveals the mystery. The clearer things become in the dawn's glow, the more you appreciate their intricate beauty, their inherent suchness, or tathata, the quality of things as they truly are, without our projections or interpretations. The light doesn't change the fundamental nature of the mountains or the trees. It simply allows them to be seen more clearly in their own intrinsic being. Similarly, an inner awakening doesn't transform you into someone else. It reveals the true self that was always there, hidden beneath layers of conditioning. As the light strengthens, the mists that may have been hovering over the lake's surface begin to thin and rise, like ethereal dancers bidding farewell to the night. They catch the golden rays, creating breathtaking patterns of light and shadow, moments of ephemeral beauty that vanish as quickly as they appear. This, too, is a lesson in impermanence, but viewed through the lens of dawn, it is filled with a sense of hope and wonder rather than sorrow. Each dissolving wisp of mist makes way for greater clarity. The birds, silent through the darkest hours, now begin their morning songs. Their calls are tentative at first, then grow in confidence and complexity, a joyful chorus welcoming the new day. Their music fills the air, weaving through the stillness, a vibrant expression of life renewed. Their songs are pure, unburdened by yesterday's concerns or tomorrow's anxieties. They sing simply because the sun has risen, because life is present. This is the essence of mindful presence, to engage fully with the moment as it is, with a fresh, open heart. You might feel a subtle shift within yourself as you witness this dawning. A sense of quiet optimism, a gentle stirring of energy. The stillness of the night was profound and restful, but the energy of the dawn is quietly invigorating, inviting a soft alertness, a renewed appreciation for the gift of awareness. The lake reflects this new light with an almost joyful brilliance, its surface now a canvas of sparkling gold and rose. The teaching of beginner's mind feels particularly relevant at dawn. Each sunrise is a fresh start, an opportunity to see the world and ourselves anew, free from the staleness of old habits and perceptions. The lake, in its pristine reflection of this new day, embodies this quality perfectly. It holds no memory of yesterday's reflections, no anticipation of tomorrow's. It is purely present, mirroring this unique, unrepeatable dawn. This quiet spectacle of light awakening the water and the world around it hints at the nature of spiritual insight. It often comes not as a thunderclap, but as a gradual dawning, a slow illumination of what was previously obscure. It requires patience, stillness, and a willingness to simply be present as the light unfolds, both externally and internally. As the sun climbs higher, chasing away the last vestiges of night, the lake shimmers, fully awake, its surface a dazzling testament to the beauty of the present moment, a clear mirror for the dawning light within your own heart. As the day matures and eventually begins to soften towards its close, the light around the mountain lake undergoes another magical transformation. The sun, having journeyed across the vast arc of the sky, now descends towards the western peaks, painting the heavens, and consequently the lake's surface, with the gentle, profound hues of twilight. This is a time of serene acceptance, a quiet lesson in letting go, as the vibrant energy of the day gracefully yields to the approaching stillness of night. The fierce blues and bright golds of midday give way to a palette of soft oranges, deep crimsons, dusky purples, and delicate pinks. These colors bleed into one another, creating a masterpiece of transient beauty in the sky above and an equally stunning, though more muted reflection in the water below. The lake, ever receptive, becomes a canvas for this celestial artistry, its surface holding the fiery yet gentle glow of the setting sun. Watching the sunset mirrored in the lake is an exercise in non-attachment. The colors are breathtakingly beautiful, yet they are constantly changing, fading, and deepening. There is no way to hold on to any particular shade, any specific moment of this display. The beauty lies precisely in its fleeting nature. This is the wisdom of anicca, impermanence, embraced not with sadness for what is passing, but with appreciation for the beauty of the present, ever-flowing moment. The lake teaches this acceptance by simply reflecting what is, without preference, without clinging. The air, which may have carried a certain warmth during the day, now begins to cool. A gentle stillness descends, different from the expectant stillness of dawn. This is a stillness of completion, of a cycle drawing to a close. The sounds of the day, the more active bird calls, the rustle of unseen life in the forest, begin to quieten. A different set of sounds emerges, the softer, more subtle whispers of the approaching night. Perhaps the first tentative chirp of a cricket, or the distant hoot of an early owl. The surrounding mountains, which stood out in sharp relief under the midday sun, now soften into silhouettes against the richly colored sky. Their forms become simplified, grand, and mysterious. Their reflection in the lake is darker, more profound, hinting at the depths that will soon be enveloped in night. There's a sense of ancient wisdom in these shadowed peaks, a feeling of steadfastness as they witness another day's end. They embody a quiet endurance, an acceptance of the endless cycles of light and dark. A subtle paradox emerges in this twilight hour. As the visual details of the landscape begin to fade, as forms become less distinct, a deeper sense of unity can arise. The boundaries between individual objects blur, and the interconnectedness of all things becomes more palpable. The lake, the sky, the mountains, and you, the observer, all seem to merge into a single, harmonious whole, bathed in the fading light. This is a taste of non-duality, where the distinctions that define our everyday perception begin to dissolve into a larger, more inclusive reality. The Zen practice of just sitting, or shikantaza, feels particularly resonant at this time. There is nothing to achieve, nothing to strive for. The only task is to be present, to witness the gentle fading of the day, to allow the beauty and peace of the twilight to permeate your being. It is a time for quiet reflection, not in an analytical sense, but in a receptive, open-hearted way, allowing the lessons of the day, the stillness, the reflections, the gentle breezes, to settle within you. As the last sliver of the sun dips below the horizon, the most intense colors momentarily flare, a final breathtaking flourish before they begin to soften and deepen into the blues and purples of dusk. The lake holds these last embers of light with a quiet reverence. There is no sadness in this departure, only a natural and peaceful transition. This acceptance of endings, of the natural flow of things coming to a close, is a profound teaching. It speaks to the ability to let go gracefully, without resistance, understanding that every ending is also a preparation for a new beginning. The surface of the lake, now reflecting the darkening sky, becomes a deep, tranquil pool. The first stars may begin to prick the heavens, their faint light mirrored as tiny, distant sparks in the water. The profound stillness of the night begins to assert itself, a vast, encompassing peace. The twilight, with its gentle hues and quietening sounds, has served as a bridge, guiding you from the activity of the day into the deep rest and introspective calm of the approaching darkness. The lake, in its serene acceptance of this daily cycle, offers a timeless lesson in embracing change with grace and finding beauty in every phase of existence. As twilight deepens and the surface of the lake becomes a dark, reflective mirror for the emerging stars, your awareness might be drawn to a different kind of activity, the subtle, unseen life that thrives within and around this tranquil body of water. This is not the overt, sun-drenched activity of daytime creatures, but the quiet, often hidden dance of life that awakens as darkness falls. Observing, or rather sensing, this unseen world offers a profound lesson in compassion's quiet strength and the interconnected web of all beings. You may not see them clearly, but you can sense their presence. Tiny, nocturnal insects begin their brief, hushed flights over the water's surface, their movements creating the faintest of disturbances, almost invisible ripples that quickly dissolve. Perhaps you hear the soft plop of a frog entering the water from a lily pad, or the rustle of a small mammal foraging at the lake's edge, its movements careful and discreet in the deepening gloom. These are the quiet citizens of the night, each playing its part in the lake's intricate ecosystem. The Zen teaching of Maitri, or loving kindness, extends not just to human beings, but to all sentient creatures, however small or seemingly insignificant. This lake, in its embrace of all life, visible and invisible, embodies this principle. It provides sustenance, shelter, and a place of being for a multitude of organisms. Its waters, rich with unseen nutrients and microorganisms, form the base of a complex food web that supports fish, amphibians, insects, and the birds and mammals that depend on them. There is a quiet strength in this interconnectedness. Each being, by simply living its life, contributes to the health and vitality of the whole. The tiny zooplankton filtering the water, the insects pollinating the lakeside flowers, the fish controlling insect populations, all are essential. This is a powerful metaphor for our own lives. Even our smallest, quietest actions of kindness or mindfulness can contribute to the well-being of the larger community, the greater web of life. We may not always see the immediate impact, just as we may not see all the life within the lake. But the effect is there, rippling outwards. A paradox lies in this hidden world. Its very invisibility to our dominant daytime senses makes its existence even more wondrous. It speaks to the vastness of reality that lies beyond our immediate perception, the countless forms of life and processes that unfold without our direct observation or intervention. Cultivating an awareness of this unseen life fosters a sense of humility and respect for the mystery and complexity of nature. It encourages a shift from a human-centered view to a more ecocentric understanding, where all beings have intrinsic value. The moon, if it is present in the night sky, now casts its silvery light upon the water, creating a shimmering pathway, a ribbon of cool radiance. This light might momentarily reveal the sleek form of a fish gliding silently through the depths, or the V-shaped wake of a muskrat swimming towards its den. These glimpses are fleeting, precious, reminders of the vibrant life that continues, unseen by most, under the cloak of night. This awareness of unseen beings can also turn inwards, towards the unseen aspects of our own being. Just as the lake teems with hidden life, Our own inner world contains depths of feeling, intuition, and subtle energies that are not always apparent on the surface. The quiet of the night, the stillness by the lake, provides an opportunity to become more attuned to these inner currents, to listen to the whispers of our own deeper nature. The compassion that arises from contemplating this subtle dance of life is not a sentimental or pitying emotion. It is a deep recognition of shared existence, of mutual dependence. It is understanding that the well-being of one is inextricably linked to the well-being of all. The lake, in its silent, impartial nurturing of all creatures within its domain, exemplifies this profound, unforced compassion. It doesn't choose which beings to support. It simply provides the conditions for life to flourish in its myriad forms. As you sit by the water's edge, feeling the cool night air, hearing the subtle sounds of the nocturnal world, a sense of profound kinship may arise. You're not merely an observer of this scene, but a part of it, another being sharing this planet, this moment, with countless others. The quiet strength of the lake lies in its capacity to hold and sustain this diversity of life. The quiet strength of compassion lies in its ability to recognize and honor the inherent worth of every being, seen and unseen, fostering a sense of gentle connection to the vast, intricate tapestry of existence that surrounds you and flows through you. Your gaze lifts from the lake's dark, reflective surface to the majestic mountains that cradle it. In the soft glow of starlight, or the gentle luminescence of the moon, they stand as ancient sentinels, their peaks etched against the vast expanse of the night sky. They are not perfect in their form. Their slopes are rugged, carved by ancient glaciers, weathered by millennia of wind and storm. Yet, it is precisely this imperfect, raw beauty that speaks of their endurance, their timeless presence, and whispers a profound Zen teaching about accepting things as they are. These mountains have watched over the lake for eons, silent witnesses to countless dawns and sunsets, to the slow turning of seasons, to the subtle shifts in the earth itself. Their craggy outlines, their uneven ridges, the scree slopes where rocks have tumbled. These are not flaws, but the marks of their history, the evidence of their long, patient dialogue with the forces of nature. This is the essence of wabi-sabi aesthetics, which finds beauty in imperfection, in the rustic and the unrefined, in the natural processes of growth, decay, and weathering. The mountains do not strive for a symmetrical perfection. They simply are, in all their rugged grandeur. Their strength is not in uniformity, but in their unique, individual character. One peak may be sharp and angular, another more rounded and gentle. One slope may be densely forested, another stark and rocky. This diversity contributes to the overall majesty of the landscape. It's a reminder that true beauty, in nature and in ourselves, often lies in our unique particularities, our so-called imperfections, which are simply the authentic expressions of our being. There is a profound stillness about these mountains at night. They seem to absorb the darkness, to become one with the deep silence of the cosmos. Yet, this stillness is not lifeless. It is imbued with the immense, latent power, the power of an ancient, slow patience. They teach the art of simply being, of holding space, of enduring through all changes with a quiet, unshakable dignity. This is a powerful antidote to the human tendency towards restlessness, towards constantly seeking to change or fix ourselves or our circumstances. A paradox of perception occurs as you observe them. In the daylight, their details were clear, their colors vibrant. Now, in the dim light, much of that detail is lost, yet their essential form, their sheer presence, seems even more potent, more profound. The darkness strips away the superficial, revealing the underlying essence. Similarly, in moments of quiet contemplation, when the noise of our usual thought subsides, we can sometimes connect with a deeper, more essential aspect of ourselves, a truth that is often obscured by the complexities of daily life. The Zen concept of suchness or tathata, seeing things as they truly are in their intrinsic nature, without the overlay of our judgments or desires, is embodied by these mountains. They make no apologies for their ruggedness, nor do they boast of their height. They are simply, authentically, themselves. To view them with a mind of suchness is to accept them completely, imperfections and all, and in that acceptance, to perceive their inherent, profound beauty. The way the moonlight, if present, catches on a high ridge, or how starlight seems to dust their highest points, creates a sense of ethereal beauty, almost otherworldly. It highlights their grandeur while simultaneously emphasizing their connection to the cosmos. They are rooted deeply in the earth, yet they reach for the heavens, a bridge between terrestrial and celestial realms. This evokes a sense of aspiration, not for an unattainable perfection, but for a connection to something larger than oneself, a sense of belonging to the vast unfolding of the universe. These mountains have seen countless storms rage across their peaks, felt the bite of winter snows and the heat of summer sun. They have endured. Their weathered faces are a testament to their resilience, their ability to withstand the forces of change without losing their fundamental integrity. This offers a quiet encouragement. We too can face the storms of our lives, the inevitable challenges and difficulties, with a similar resilience, an inner strength that comes not from resisting change, but from meeting it with an unwavering presence, rooted in our own true nature. As you sit by the lake, embraced by the silent watch of these ancient, imperfectly beautiful mountains, a sense of deep peace can settle within you. Their steadfast presence is a comfort, a reminder of the enduring qualities of strength, patience, and acceptance. They don't offer solutions or quick fixes, but something far more valuable: the wisdom of simply being, of accepting the world and oneself with all its beautiful imperfections, finding a profound and lasting beauty in the authentic reality of what is. The lake, cradled by these ancient mountains, is not a static entity, but a living system that moves through the eternal rhythm of the seasons. Each season brings its own unique character to the water and its surroundings, its own distinct beauty, its own profound teachings on the nature of suchness, the inherent, unadulterated reality of things as they are, unfolding in their own time, according to their own nature. Imagine the lake in the depths of winter. A thick blanket of snow might cover the surrounding peaks and the forest floor, transforming the landscape into a monochrome world of white and gray. The lake itself might be frozen, its surface a vast expanse of ice, still and silent under the cold winter sky. This frozen stillness is not death, but a deep, inward turning, a time of rest and consolidation. Beneath the ice, life continues in slow motion, awaiting the return of warmth. The beauty here is stark, minimalist, a lesson in endurance and the quiet power of dormancy. The suchness of winter is its cold clarity, its unyielding embrace of stillness. Then, as spring arrives, a gentle thawing begins. The ice on the lake cracks and groans, eventually breaking up into floating shards that glitter in the strengthening sun. The snow on the mountainsides melts, feeding nascent streams that rush down to replenish the lake's waters. The air becomes alive with the scent of damp earth and new growth. Around the lake's edges, the first tender green shoots appear, and migratory birds return, their songs heralding a period of renewal and vibrant reawakening. The suchness of spring is its joyful emergence, its irrepressible surge of new life, its promise of fresh beginnings. The lake reflects this vibrant energy, its waters clear and sparkling, teeming with renewed activity. Summer follows, bringing long days of warm sunshine. The forests around the lake are lush and full, a deep, verdant green. The water itself is inviting, perhaps warmer, its surface often calm and reflective in the mornings, giving way to gentle breezes in the afternoons. Life is abundant. Wildflowers bloom in the meadows near the shore. Insects hum. Young animals explore. This is a season of fullness, of maturation, of life lived out in its most expansive expression. The suchness of summer is its radiant abundance, its celebration of growth and vitality. The lake mirrors the deep blue sky, offering a cool respite, a place of tranquil enjoyment. And then, autumn arrives, painting the landscape with a breathtaking palette of gold, crimson, and russet. The leaves of deciduous trees turn brilliant colors before falling, carpeting the ground and drifting onto the lake's surface like tiny, colorful boats. The air becomes crisp and clear, carrying the scent of wood smoke and decaying leaves, a fragrance that speaks of both abundance and letting go. This is a time of harvest, but also of preparation for the quietude of winter. The suchness of autumn is its poignant beauty, its graceful acceptance of transition, its rich and mellow light. The lake reflects the fiery foliage, its waters taking on a deeper, more contemplative hue. Through all these seasonal transformations, the lake's essential nature remains. It is always water, always held within its mountain basin, always reflecting the sky and the surrounding world, each in its own seasonal guise. This is a profound illustration of the Zen understanding that while the expressions of life are constantly changing, the underlying essence, the fundamental reality, endures. The lake doesn't resist the coming of winter's ice, nor does it cling to the exuberance of summer. It fully embodies the suchness of each season, accepting and reflecting it without preference or judgment. This cyclical dance of the seasons teaches a deep acceptance of change as the fundamental rhythm of existence. Each season has its own beauty, its own lessons, its own purpose. There is no better or worse season. There is only the natural unfolding. This perspective can bring great peace to our own lives, helping us to navigate our own personal seasons. Times of growth, times of stillness, times of abundance, times of letting go, with greater equanimity and appreciation for the unique qualities of each phase. The lake, in its unwavering presence through winter's ice and summer's bloom, becomes a symbol of this enduring essence, this capacity to meet each changing condition with a calm, reflective heart. It teaches us that our true self, like the lake, can remain constant and peaceful amidst the ever-shifting seasons of our experiences, always present, always reflecting the truth of what is in this very moment. After days, or perhaps what feels like a lifetime, spent in quiet contemplation by the lake's edge, a gentle, natural impulse may arise within you. The desire to connect with the water in a more intimate way. Not to conquer it or possess it, but to partake of its purity, to experience its elemental nature more directly. You approach the water's margin, where small, smooth stones meet the clear liquid, and you cup your hands. Dipping your hands into the cool, clear water, you feel its invigorating touch. It's a sensation that awakens the skin, a reminder of the body's direct connection to the natural world. The water is pure, filtered by the mountain soils and stones, carrying the essence of the wilderness. You lift your cupped hands, watching the droplets fall like liquid diamonds, sparkling in the ambient light. This simple act, so fundamental, connects you to a timeless human experience, drawing water from a natural source. You bring your hands to your lips and take a sip. The water is cool, clean, and utterly refreshing. It has no artificial taste, no added impurities. It is water in its most unadulterated form. As it quenches your physical thirst, you might also sense it quenching a deeper inner thirst, a longing for simplicity, for purity, for a connection to something fundamental and true. In a world often filled with complexity and artifice, This taste of pure mountain water is a profound reminder of the nourishment found in simplicity. This act of drinking the lake's water is rich with symbolic meaning. Water is often seen as a symbol of life, of purification, of the flowing nature of reality. In Zen, it can represent the Dharma, the teachings, which refresh the mind and spirit. By taking this water into your body, you are, in a way, internalizing the qualities of the lake, its clarity, its stillness, its capacity for reflection. It's a gentle sacrament, a communion with the spirit of this place. There's a teaching in the idea that the simplest things often hold the deepest nourishment. We may search for complex solutions to our inner longings, for elaborate practices or profound intellectual understandings. Yet sometimes, the most profound peace, the most satisfying nourishment, comes from something as simple as a drink of clear water, a mindful breath, a moment of quiet presence. The lake, in offering its water so freely, teaches this lesson of uncomplicated abundance. As you drink, you might reflect on the journey of this water. It has fallen as rain or snow on the high peaks, seeped through the earth, trickled down mountain streams, and finally gathered here in this tranquil basin. It has been part of a vast interconnected cycle. This awareness can deepen your appreciation for the water, seeing it not just as a substance, but as a participant in the great, ongoing processes of nature. This embodies the principle of interdependence. Every drop is connected to the whole. The paradox here is that this simple act of drinking, so mundane in one sense, can become a profound meditative experience when done with full awareness. You feel the coolness in your mouth, the sensation of swallowing, the feeling of the water spreading through your body, bringing a sense of refreshment and vitality. Each of these sensations, when attended to with mindful presence, anchors you more deeply in the present moment. It is an act of being with the water, not just consuming it. This experience can also be a lesson in gratitude. Gratitude for the clean water, for the lake itself, for the mountains that cradle it, for the natural processes that make this pure source available. In Zen, gratitude is not just a polite sentiment, but a deep recognition of the interconnectedness of all things and the countless gifts that we receive from the world around us, often without conscious acknowledgement. This simple drink of water becomes an opportunity to cultivate that heartfelt appreciation. The lake asks for nothing in return for its water. It gives freely, abundantly. This is the spirit of generosity, Dana, a core virtue in many spiritual traditions. Nature itself is a constant model of generosity. The sun gives its light, the earth provides its bounty, the water offers its refreshment. Experiencing this directly, through the simple act of drinking from the lake, can inspire a similar spirit of generosity within your own heart. Having quenched your thirst, you might sit quietly for a moment, feeling the subtle effects of the water within you. A sense of clarity, of inner cleansing, of quiet revitalization. The lake has shared a part of itself with you, and in doing so, has reminded you of the profound nourishment that can be found when we connect with the natural world in a simple, direct, and appreciative way. The inner thirst, the gentle longing for peace and meaning, can often be met not by grand gestures, but by the humble acceptance of the pure and simple gifts that are always available, if only we have the eyes to see and the heart to receive them. As you continue to sit by the lake, perhaps after drinking its pure water, a profound shift in perception may begin to occur. The subtle boundary that seemed to separate you, the observer, from the lake, the observed, starts to soften, to become more permeable. Gradually, almost imperceptibly, you find yourself merging with the stillness, your own consciousness becoming as clear, as calm, as undisturbed as the mountain lake itself. This is not a loss of self, but an expansion of self. It's the realization, felt deep within your being, that the qualities you have been admiring in the lake, its peace, its clarity, its reflective capacity, its ability to hold all things without disturbance, are not external to you, but are inherent aspects of your own deepest nature. The lake becomes less an object of contemplation and more a mirror reflecting your own innate potential for profound tranquility. The gentle rhythm of your breath, which earlier attuned to the lapping of the water, now seems to merge with the very stillness of the lake. Each inhalation draws in that calm, and each exhalation releases any lingering tension, any residual mental chatter, dissolving it into the vast, peaceful expanse. Your body, sitting quietly by the shore, feels grounded, rooted, yet simultaneously light and open, like the water that is both deep and expansive. The Zen concept of samadhi, a state of deep meditative absorption or concentrated oneness, comes to mind. It's a state where the distinction between subject and object fades, where there is only pure, unified awareness. You are not looking at the lake. You are the lake. Your mind, settled and vast, reflects the inner sky of your consciousness with the same fidelity that the lake reflects the physical sky. Thoughts may still arise, like those occasional clouds or ripples, but they pass through this vast, clear space without disturbing its fundamental stillness, without leaving a trace. This merging is a gentle, natural unfolding, not something to be forced or intellectually engineered. It arises from sustained, patient presence, from the deep listening, the clear seeing, the quiet acceptance that you have cultivated during your time here. It's a paradox. The more you simply allow yourself to be, without striving, the more profound the sense of connection, of oneness, becomes. When you stop trying to find stillness, you realize that stillness is already here, within you and all around you. The sounds of the environment, the distant bird call, the rustle of leaves, the whisper of the wind, are no longer perceived as external to you. They arise within the vast field of your awareness, like sounds arising within the silent embrace of the lake and its surrounding valley. There is no separation. You are the listening. You are the silence. You are the subtle symphony of nature. This experience of merging with the stillness can bring a profound sense of peace and liberation. The burdens of a separate, defended self, with its anxieties and preoccupations, begin to fall away. What remains is a sense of pure being, timeless and boundless. It is the peace that passeth all understanding, because it is not a product of the rational mind, but an experience of the heart, of the deepest core of your existence. You might gaze at a single pebble on the shore, or a drop of water clinging to a blade of grass, and see in it the entirety of the universe, the entirety of your own being. The small contains the large, the particular reflects the universal. This is the insight of interpenetration, a key understanding in Zen, that all things contain and are contained by all other things. In your own quiet heart, you contain the stillness of the lake, and the lake contains the reflection of your own dawning peace. This state of merged stillness is not an escape from the world, but a deeper engagement with it, from a place of profound inner balance and clarity. When your mind is like a clear, undisturbed mountain lake, you can reflect the world around you, its joys, its sorrows, its beauty, its challenges, with greater compassion, wisdom, and equanimity. You are not overwhelmed by the ripples, because you are rooted in the unwavering depth of your own being. As you rest in this state, there is no need for words, no need for concepts. The experience itself is the teaching. It is a direct, unmediated apprehension of reality, of your own true nature. The lake has been your guide, your teacher, but now you realize that the ultimate teacher resides within. The stillness, the clarity, the peace. They are not just qualities of a mountain lake. They are qualities of your own awakened heart, your own enlightened mind, waiting to be discovered and embodied. The time eventually comes when you must prepare to depart from the shores of this serene mountain lake. Yet this is not a true leaving, for the profound peace, the clarity, The undisturbed stillness you have found here is no longer just a memory of a place, but a living presence carried within your own tranquil heart. The lake, in its timeless wisdom, has imprinted itself upon your being, and you take its essence with you as you gently rise and prepare to retrace your steps. The path away from the lake may be the same physical path you took to arrive, but your experience of it will be transformed. Each step is now imbued with the quiet resonance of the lake's stillness. The rustling leaves, the texture of the earth beneath your feet, the quality of the light filtering through the trees, all are perceived with a heightened sense of clarity and presence, as if seen through the lens of the lake's clear water. You carry the lake's reflection within you, not as a static image, but as a dynamic quality of mind. Just as the lake reflected the sky, the mountains, and your own form with unbiased clarity, your mind now possesses a greater capacity to reflect your experiences without judgment, without clinging, without the distortions of agitation or habitual reactivity. This is the practice of mindfulness in action, taking the meditative state off the cushion, or in this case, away from the lakeshore, and integrating it into the movement of life. The teachings of the lake, the acceptance of impermanence seen in the shifting ripples and changing seasons, the beauty of no mind in its empty receptivity, the strength of interconnectedness observed in its ecosystem, the wisdom of suchness in its embrace of imperfect beauty. These are not abstract concepts anymore. They have been felt, experienced, absorbed. They are now part of your inner landscape, guiding your perceptions and responses as you move back towards the world. The paradox of this journey is that in seeking an external place of peace, you have discovered the source of peace within yourself. The lake was the catalyst, the mirror, the guide, but the transformation it facilitated is an internal one. You realize that the qualities of the clear, undisturbed mountain lake are accessible to you always, regardless of your external circumstances. You only need to turn your attention inward, to that quiet, reflective space that now feels so familiar, so much like home. As you walk, you might encounter a gentle breeze, and instead of feeling it as a potential disturbance, you recognize it as a reminder of the lake's lesson, that change is natural, and that beneath the surface movement, the deep stillness remains. You might see a fallen leaf and recall the lake's teaching on graceful letting go. Every element of the natural world can now serve as a subtle reminder of the wisdom you have imbibed. The silence you cultivated by the lake also travels with you. It's not just an absence of external noise, but an inner quietude, a spaciousness in the mind that allows for greater peace and insight. You can carry this silence into busier environments, finding that it provides a calm center, an anchor amidst the activities and interactions of daily life. The feeling is not one of accomplishment, of having conquered a spiritual goal, but rather one of profound gratitude and gentle integration. Gratitude for the gift of the lake, for its silent teachings, for the opportunity to connect so deeply with nature and with your own inner being. And integration, as you consciously endeavor to bring the qualities of the lake, its clarity, its calm, its reflective peace, into every aspect of your life. The physical lake may grow distant as you descend the mountain path, but its spiritual presence remains vibrant within you. You are, in a very real sense, taking the lake with you. Its profound peace now resides in your tranquil heart, a wellspring of stillness and wisdom to which you can return again and again, simply by closing your eyes, taking a conscious breath, and remembering the feeling of being by that clear, undisturbed water, reflecting the boundless sky. The journey to the lake has become a journey into yourself, and the destination is a state of being that you now carry, a portable sanctuary, a clear and undisturbed mind. And so, the path gently fades. The image of the lake, once so vivid, now softens, dissolves, like mist at dawn. The clarity remains, not as a picture, but as a feeling, a presence, deep within. Let your breath be easy now. Soft, a gentle tide, rising, falling, effortlessly. Each breath, a whisper of peace. Each exhale, a letting go, deeper and deeper, into rest. The stillness of the water, the quiet of the mountains. These are now part of your own inner landscape, a space of profound calm, always accessible, always within. No need to hold on to any thought, any image. Just allow everything to become spacious, open, like the vast night sky, reflected in perfectly still water. The gentle sounds of the journey fade into a profound silence, a silence that nurtures, a silence that heals, a silence that is home, drifting now, peacefully, effortlessly, like a single leaf on a calm pond, supported, held, in perfect tranquility. Rest now, dear friend. Rest in this boundless peace, this gentle stillness, this quiet heart, dissolving into deep, restful sleep.